Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, depending on where you are in this world. God bless you. This is Gloria White coming to you from Utah, USA. Today we're going to continue in the book of Isaiah, and we are in chapter 9. Of course, the Old Testament in the King James Version of the Holy Bible. Nevertheless, now this is an unfulfilled prophecy here in chapter 1. And it says, Nevertheless, the dimness or the gloom shall not be such as was in her vexation. And it says, upon her who is distressed, as when at the first he lightly afflicted or esteemed the land of Zebulun and the land of Naphtali, and afterward did more grievously, or he shall glorify the way by the sea beyond Jordan in Galilee of the nations, and that's the Gentiles. Verse 2, another unfulfilled prophecy, or it's actually, they go together, and you could find them together in Luke 1:79. Yeah. Okay, and verse 2, the people that walked in darkness have seen a great light. That they dwell in the land of the shadow of death, upon them hath the light shined. Thou hast multiplied the nation, and not increased the joy. And here this not increase the joy is, or increased the joy. They joy before thee according to the joy in harvest, and as men rejoice when they divide the spoil or plunder. For thou hast broken the yoke of his burden, and the staff of his shoulder, the rod of his oppressor, as in the day of Midian. For every battle of the warrior, or scandal or boot, is with confused noise, or from the noisy battle, and garments rolled in blood. But this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. So this shall be for burning and for fuel of fire. For unto us a child is born. And here verse 6 is another unfulfilled prophecy, which says, For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder. And his name shall be called Wonderful Counselor, the Mighty God, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace. Verse 7, another unfulfilled prophecy. Of the increase of his government and peace there shall be no end upon the throne of David, and upon his kingdom, to order it, and to establish it with judgment and with justice from henceforth even forever. The zeal of the Lord of hosts will perform this. The Lord of hosts. The Lord sent a word into Jacob, or against Jacob, and it hath lighted, or fallen upon Israel. And all the people shall know, even Ephraim, and the inhabitant of Samaria, that say in the pride and stoutness of heart, or arrogance of heart, the bricks are fallen down, and we will build with hewn stones. The sycamores are cut down, but we will change them into cedars, or replace them with cedars. Therefore the Lord shall set up the adversaries of Rezin against him, and join his enemies together, or spur his enemies on. The Syrians before and the Philistines behind, and they shall devour Israel with open mouth. For all this his anger is not turned away, but his hand is stretched out still, or stretched out in judgment. For the people turneth not unto him that smiteth them, or strike them. Neither do they seek the Lord of hosts. They're refusing to turn away from their sin. Therefore the Lord will cut off from Israel head and tail, branch or palm branch, and rush or bulrush in one day. The ancient, or the elder and honorable, he is the head, and the prophet that teacheth lies, he is the tail. For the leaders of this people cause them to err, and they that are led of them are destroyed. Therefore the Lord shall have no joy in their young men, neither shall have mercy on their fatherless and widows. For every one is an hypocrite and an evildoer, and every mouth speaketh folly. And this folly is, let's see, we're in verse 17, foolishness. Everyone will speak foolishness. For all this his anger is not turned away, but his hand is stretched out still, stretched out in judgment. For wickedness burneth as the fire. It shall devour the briars and the thorns, and shall kindle in the thickets of the forest. And they shall mount up like the lifting up of smoke, or rising of smoke. Through the wrath of the Lord of hosts is the land darkened. And this here translates into burned up. And the people shall be as the fuel for the fire, or of the fire. No man shall spare his brother, and he shall snatch, or slice off, or tear on the right hand, and be hungry, and he shall eat on the left hand, and they shall not be satisfied. They shall eat every man the flesh of his own arm. Manasseh, Ephraim, and Manasseh, and they together shall be against Judah. For all his anger is not turned away, but his hand is stretched out still. You know, God doesn't get angry for nothing. There's always something that makes him angry. But he warns. He warns the people to turn back to him and away from their wickedness. And when they don't, his hand is stretched out. And here, he's done a lot of stuff and it just remains stretched out. And as always, I love you.